Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into the psychology of an icon's violent rebirth. We're going to explore what happens when the man finally admits that his true face was the mask all along.
You know, this one line right here, it is the key to this whole story. Seriously, forget everything you know about a heroic comeback. This is way more primal. It's about a force of nature, a beast, taking back what it sees as its own.
All right, so here's our roadmap. First, we'll look at the complete breakdown of Bruce Wayne. Then we'll watch the beast inside him wake up. We'll analyze his brutal new way of fighting, meet the people who ground him. And finally, we'll tackle the big one. Was this monster actually necessary? So, we kick things off not with a hero enjoying his retirement, not at all. We start with a man who is, for all intents and purposes, slowly killing himself because for 10 years he's been pretending to be someone he's not.
See, for this Bruce Wayne, a life without the cowl isn't peace and quiet, it's absolute torture. The silence is deafening. The lack of a fight is eating him alive. This isn't retirement. The book literally calls it a prolonged agonizing death.
And this is what's so fascinating, because this story completely flips the script on the whole secret identity thing. The Bruce Wayne persona, right, with the mustache and the reckless race car driving, that's the act. That's the mask. The truth, the real him, is what he calls the beast, this primal addiction to the mission.
So you have to ask, right? How does this cage he's built for himself, this normal life, finally just shatter? What could possibly be enough to unleash that beast after a whole decade?
Well, it starts with the city itself. Gotham is choking, literally, under this oppressive, unbearable heatwave. And it's the perfect metaphor for Bruce's own internal pressure, which is just building and building until it's about to explode. The city is sick and he feels every bit of it. And the thing is, it wasn't just one thing that broke him. It was this perfect storm. You've got the city falling apart. You see Harvey Dent, the supposed symbol of rehabilitation, completely fail. Then this new brutal mutant gang shows up with a kind of violence he's never seen before. And then, the final straw, that old trauma, the memory of his mother's pearls breaking. It's society collapsing and his own past crashing down on him all at once. The beast had no choice but to come out.
Okay, so Batman is back. But let's be clear, this is not the Batman of his prime. This is an old man. He's angrier, he's way more brutal, and he's fighting a war that's completely defined by the fact that his body is failing him.
I mean, he's 55. He knows he can't just flip around and rely on pure speed anymore. He's slower, he's heavier. So what does he do? He adapts. He trades finesse for raw power. His tactics become almost militaristic. He's got armored suits, and the Batmobile, well, it's not really a car anymore. It's a tank.
And his first big fight back is an absolute disaster. He goes head-to-head with the mutant leader, pure ego, thinking he's still the same guy, and he gets nearly beaten to death. It is a brutal, humbling reminder that he is not invincible anymore.
But that beating, it forces him to get smart. He realizes he can't win a slugfest, not anymore. So for the rematch, he uses his greatest weapon, his mind. He picks the battlefield. He uses strategy. He fights a smarter war.
And this quote, this says it all. He's not just brawling in the mud anymore. He's transformed the fight into a surgical procedure. He is no longer a fighter, he is a surgeon, and he is there to methodically, precisely take his enemy apart. That is the new Batman.
But you know, even a monster needs an anchor to reality. So let's look at the two people who somehow managed to keep him tethered to his humanity, even as he's giving in to his most brutal instincts.
On one side, you've got Alfred. He's the anchor, the connection to Bruce's past. And he reluctantly helps him because he knows the truth. Keeping the beast locked up would literally kill Bruce. And then on the other side, you have Carrie Kelly, the new Robin. She's not just a sidekick, she's the future. She's a soldier who proves that the mission, the legacy, has to survive.
And this leads to one of the most unsettling parts of the story. After Batman takes down the mutant leader, the gang doesn't just go away. No, they rebrand. They start calling themselves the Sons of the Batman, and they become his own personal paramilitary force on the streets. It's a really dark, morally gray area that blurs that line between a vigilante and, well, a warlord.
So all of this, the psychological breakdown, the violent comeback, the ethically questionable tactics, it all leads to the one central, really provocative question at the heart of this entire story. And here it is. This is the core thesis. The return of Batman isn't about being a hero. It's about being a superior form of madness. The logic is that when the world has gone completely insane, when society has failed, maybe the only thing that can fix it is a force that's just as mad, but more focused.
And that's really the question we're left with, isn't it? It makes you face this really uncomfortable idea. If the world is fundamentally broken, can a traditional hero even exist? Or does a failed society demand a monster to come and drag it, kicking and screaming back from the edge? There's definitely no easy answer to that one.